DC just dropped an absolute nuke of new information about all their upcoming movies and TV shows, including updates about the Batman Part 2, Robert Pattinson joining the DCU, a new Teen Titans movie, an Endgame level team-up event in the DCU, and so much more. We gotta talk about all of it. All of this is straight from James Gunn in a new interview with a Hollywood Reporter, so this is all 100% confirmed. First of all, we're getting a new Starfire animated movie taking place in the DCU. We got a first look at the official new logo. Now, we don't technically know if this is actually going to be like an Elseworlds project taking place in a separate universe, or if this is going to serve as the origin story for the Starfire we're going to see in the live action Teen Titans movie, which James Gunn has 100% confirmed is in the works, with the same person that wrote the script for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow writing the script for this. I honestly cannot wait for this. As James Gunn has confirmed before, everybody that does the voice of the animated characters will be the same person in live action, so if this is in the same universe, we'll find out the Starfire casting pretty soon, I assume. We got a lot of Lanterns and Green Lantern news for you guys too. First of all, we'll stick with the animated theme. They are developing a new Green Lantern animated show in addition to the live action Lantern series. It's called My Adventures with Green Lantern, so again, this is going to be developed under the DC Studios banner, but it's actually going to be taking place in the same universe as the My Adventures with Superman TV show, which actually is a really solid show. I'm glad they're expanding on that universe a little bit more. Plus, as we've seen with things like the popularity of the Harley Quinn show and like Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, it's just cool to have animated series of these characters that aren't really connected to the main timelines, just getting more stories of the characters we love. The Batman Part 2 is easily one of my most anticipated movies. We finally got some updates. The first one's a little disappointing because James Gunn confirmed that they still have not got a script handed in from Matt Reeves for this film, but apparently there's no delays. He's still planning to get it in soon, and they're going to start filming late this year and release in 2027. There were rumors after it got delayed to 2027 that, hey, maybe it's actually going to get bumped up again, but it doesn't seem likely. It also seems like James Gunn got pretty fed up with all the different rumors coming out about Robert Pattinson potentially becoming the new main Batman for the DC universe. He came out and just straight up said there have been no serious conversations about Robert Pattinson becoming the DCU Batman, and he even kind of shook his head in the interview when he was asked about like sharing the actor with Matt Reeves. So this seems like it's just dead in the water. It's not happening, which I'm honestly so happy for. He also went on to talk about the Batman, the Brave, and the Bold, and he was saying that pretty much Andy Muschietti, who was the director of The Flash, is still attached to this movie, but he's not working on the script at all. Instead, there's some unnamed scriptwriter, and James Gunn actually is doing a lot of work on the script himself because he said he loves this character and he wants it to be a great film. So as of right now, Andy Muschietti is still favored to be the director of this film, but if once the script is done, maybe they don't align on things, they could go a different direction, which I honestly kind of hope they do because The Flash was not very good. Now, it's not all sunshines and rainbows for DC. He did come out and confirm that a few projects have had a little bit of a bumpy development and have kind of been put on the back burner, but it's because he re-emphasized their focus on a script. If they don't get a good script that they like, they're not going to move on and just greenlight these projects. He went on to describe the new Waller TV show starring Viola Davis returning as a character has been a bit of a bumpy road. They haven't been able to figure things out, so as of right now, this is kind of just stuck in development. Authorities, another one, he said they just really haven't been able to hammer down a script, and as of right now, it hasn't really been a priority for DC. They're focusing on a bunch of other projects. This has been put on the back burner for now. One that's very disappointing to me because I was super excited for this is Booster Gold. He came out and said that simply the showrunners seem to have either lost interest or just love for the character or been distracted by other things, so they kind of had to pivot and find a new showrunner, so that's kind of delayed this production a little bit. He gave us some more details about the two upcoming DC projects coming out the soonest, which are the Lanterns and Superman, saying that Superman is going to have a lot of humor but not go overboard or anything, and the Lanterns is going to be very different in tone from Superman. He also went on to elaborate in particular that he wants every project in the DCU to stand alone on its own so that you can just watch Lanterns if you want, or you can just watch Superman, but if you watch all of them, there will be things that you can appreciate, but it's not going to be a necessity. He went on to give a specific example of Guy Gardner in Superman and Lanterns. Yes, he will be in both films, and if you watch both of them, you'll be like, oh hey, that's the guy from the other movie with the same actor, cool. But if you don't, you are going to need to watch Superman to understand his role in Lantern. We will be getting a season 2 of Peacemaker confirmed releasing this year in August, so only 1 month after Superman officially kicks off the new DCU. I know we had Creature Commandos, but Superman's really the grand kickoff. Yes, he's sticking to his point where season 2 is 100% canon to the DCU, while season 1 technically isn't, but anything they mention in season 2, like referencing events from season 1, it will be canon. Now that's kind of complicated to follow, but it's really not. So pretty much anything a character mentions that happened is canon. As you know, they announced a Clayface movie because they got a great script from Mike Flanagan. They even came out and said that they had no plans of doing a Clayface film, but they were just so blown away by the script. They said, hey, we're greenlighting this and moving forward. Now they found a director in James Watt Watkins for the movie. This is still scheduled to release in 2026 as of now. Literally, as I was recording this video, I just saw the notification for this tweet. A new show just got announced. It's Superpowers in the works at DC, another animated show. This series follows new students Lightning, Flash, Plastic Man, Aquagirl, Green Lantern, and Terra learning at a school headed by Principal Martian Manhunter. This definitely seems like it's going to be an Elseworlds project, not canon to the main DCU timeline, and definitely probably for a younger audience. But still, again, I appreciate that we're still getting these side stories in different universes, even with the main DCU. This is what I was so bummed about with Marvel for the longest time. Now we're finally getting these side stories, but it was like when the MCU was around, you couldn't do anything on the side animated. The Supergirl movie only started filming about 3 weeks ago, and it already is halfway through production, James Gunn confirmed, and it's kind of impressive that we haven't had a single set photo leak or anything from this. Like Superman, we were seeing the suit and different scenes from the movie all the way through the filming, but this film has not had a single leak of it, which is probably for two reasons. First of all, this story is mainly or mostly going to be taking place in like different planets, so it's probably being filmed in some studio inside somewhere on a green screen mostly, while Superman was filmed outside in some real locations. I also honestly think a lot of those set photo leaks were just marketing for Superman to build up more hype for the film. That's what they are a lot of times when we see these leaks. I know the official schedule for DC Studios plans. They plan to release 2 live action movies and 1 live action series a year, along with an animated film and an animated series, which is kind of interesting because we haven't had any of the animated films announced yet. We might not get that animated movie until 2026, but the rest of this seems to be kicking off this year, and this seems like a minimum because it definitely seems like with all these projects we're going to be getting a couple in 2026 more than these minimums. If you weren't already convinced from all these different projects and this huge slate that DC announced that Warner Brothers is going all in on this new DC universe, Warner Brothers is reportedly planning a Superman marketing campaign and press tour similar to the Barbie rollout. This is actually massive because if you remember the couple months leading up to Barbie, you could not escape this movie. It was absolutely everywhere with the most insane marketing you've ever seen in your life. Combine that with the fact that we now have it confirmed that DC is putting CinemaCon as their priority instead of San Diego Comic-Con, and getting a bunch of news out there in April ahead of the summer blockbuster season. They are going all in on Superman. But the craziest bit of news that, yeah, we kind of all knew was coming, but it's nice to hear it finally officially announced, is that James Gunn actually did go on to say that they do have a 6-year plan for DC Studios that will culminate in Avengers Endgame style event. Obviously, we all knew at some point we were going to get a Justice League or some big team-up event in the DCU. Let me know if I'm looking a little bit too much into this. The fact that he compared it to Endgame instead of just saying like the Avengers sounds a little odd to me, because obviously Endgame was like a huge mega crossover with every single character from the universe pretty much, instead of just like the Avengers being a team-up of the main heroes. If we're truly not getting a first team-up movie for over 6 years in the DCU, I can kind of see why this event would be this massive of a level, because Endgame was a huge culmination of just 10 years of film, so it's not that big of a difference, honestly. I know we haven't even gotten one official live-action project released from DC yet, but it seems like James Gunn has such a great understanding of these characters and the stories that us as audiences want to see, and I really hope Superman is successful at the box office, because if it's not, I don't know how many of these we'll see and how long the DC universe will live. As a fan of Marvel and DC, I'd love nothing more for a Superman to make like $1 billion and get people all aboard the DC train, because all that does is make more competition for Marvel, motivating them to make better projects. Because yeah, the MCU's upcoming slate of the Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, the 2 Avengers movies, and Spider-Man 4 isn't bad by any means, but I feel like they seriously need some competition to really motivate them. Let me know which of these DC projects you're most excited to see, and tap the playlist above my head to check out all my videos about things that could ruin upcoming movies like Superman, Avengers, Doomsday, and so many more. Thank you for watching.